Welcome to Reddit Echoes, where we dive into real-life stories that are sometimes bizarre, sometimes heartbreaking, but always make you stop and wonder. Wait, did this actually happen? Today's story feels like something straight out of a psychological thriller, a tale where trust is suffocated not by betrayal in the usual sense, but by a hidden voice recorder. And the scariest part? It's not the girlfriend. It's her mother pulling the strings from behind the scenes. If you've ever thought that arguments in relationships were just harmless disagreements, this story will show you what happens when those arguments are recorded, analyzed, and submitted as evidence to a private courtroom called the family. So sit back, put your headphones on, and prepare for a chilling ride into the shadows of a relationship gone cold. Title: I Found Out. My girlfriend recorded all our fights, then sent them to her mom to judge me. Story 1. My brother left his girlfriend for VR and a sex toy. I thought my little brother would get married, until he named a plastic hole Martha. I never thought I'd have to say this, but my younger brother dumped his long-term girlfriend, the kind of couple that made everyone go, "They're definitely getting married to live with a silicone sex doll and a VR headset." And I'm not joking. I wish I were joking. I'm his older brother, and unfortunately I had front row seats to his full transformation. From a promising young man in love, to a dopamine junkie living in a fantasy he engineered himself. A love story that seemed like a fairy tale. My brother is 21. He and his girlfriend, also 21, had been together since their freshman year of college. 3 solid years. No drama, no big fights, no messy breakups and makeups like most young couples today. They talked about their future kids. A house, a life together. His girlfriend, let's call her Lily, was one of those rare people you only meet once in a lifetime. Sweet, smart, loyal, and completely devoted to my brother. I used to call her the last good person left, and I must have told my brother that at least 100 times. And then, everything started to spiral. After a trip to Mexico cocktails, and a 55-year-old woman. He called me from Mexico, sounding all excited, raving about the beaches, the parties, the sunsets. I smiled. He deserved to blow off some steam after finals. Then he dropped this, "Bro, I met this gorgeous girl at the party. We kissed." I was a little drunk, but that's not a big deal, right? I told him, "It's not ideal, but if you really love Lily, don't do it again." I thought it would end there. 2 days later, he called again, this time with a terrifyingly cheerful look on his face. "Bro, I just hooked up with a 55-year-old woman on the beach." Then I ran away. I was speechless. "You mean like, you used your hand and then—" "Okay, stop. Please don't finish that sentence." I hung up. I sat there thinking, is this the same little brother I once taught how to shave, from distant to completely cold? After he came back, he was different. He stopped texting Lily, stopped holding her hand. No more "hey babe." Instead, there was avoidance. Silence. Scrolling Reddit for hours. Waking up at 3 a.m. to watch porn, then crawling back into bed beside his girlfriend like nothing happened. I asked him, "What the hell are you doing?" "That's Lily, the girl you said you'd marry." He shrugged and smirked. "She's obsessed with me. She won't leave." It felt like I was talking to a TikTok bro whose brain had been hijacked by AI. The dopamine max plan begins. Then he said it, "I'm chasing maximum dopamine." I thought he was talking about some psychology concept. Nope. I'm building the ultimate combo VR headset, shrooms, and a special toy. Her name's Martha. I was like, did you just name a plastic hole, Martha? It's not just a plastic hole, bro. It's a sensory experience. I'm gonna climax in the most scientific way possible. I told him to get therapy. He told me I was outdated. I said he was destroying his relationship. He hung up. A call at the worst possible moment. The day of his dopamine max ritual arrived. He had everything set up VR Shroom's mood lighting. He even shaved off one eyebrow to heighten the multi-sensory experience. Just as he was about to begin, his phone rang. Lily was calling, and my genius of a brother in the middle of this whole setup picked up the call. 1 hour later, Lily was crying her eyes out. Her gut told her something was wrong. She kept asking and asking until he finally blurted out, "I don't love you anymore. We should break up." Lily cried all night. Meanwhile, my brother, completely unfazed, went right back to Operation Martha after hanging up. Come back. Number total collapse. The next day, he told me I didn't technically break up with her. She won't leave. She loves me too much. I said, "Who do you think you are?" The Elon Musk of emotions. 3 days later, Lily made it official. She blocked his number. Disappeared. No goodbye, no closure. My brother crumbled. He cried, sent messages, called Lily's mom, wrote handwritten letters, created a PowerPoint presentation listing all the reasons they should get back together. I just stood there watching, unsure if I should feel sorry for him or slap him back to reality. 6 weeks later, a wreck and 2 lifeless eyes. Right now. It's been 6 weeks. He's no longer crying, but he's still obsessed. He still believes Lily will come back. He's still scheduling VR therapy sessions. Martha. Still there. Sitting on his shelf like a twisted little shrine to a love story crushed by silicon and psychedelics. I tried to help. Honestly. But every time I talk to him, he blocks me. Then unblocks me 2 days later like nothing happened. Conclusion for myself. Mostly, I once thought I'd be the best man at my brother's wedding. Now I'm just the guy standing at the door, making sure he doesn't secretly order another female-named sex toy. And Lily. She's vacationing in Thailand with her girlfriends, smiling bright posting captions like, "Sometimes you have to lose someone to find yourself." As for my brother, he's writing a 5-star review for Martha on Reddit. Story 2. Zoe never existed, and my best friend made it all up. They didn't just prank me. They killed someone in my head I truly believed was real. I don't even know where to begin. Maybe I should start by saying I used to be really lonely. Not in a "I need a girlfriend to survive" kind of way, but a quiet, aching loneliness, the kind that makes you wish for someone to talk to split a piece of cake with, to share a dumb joke, or even just send you a heart emoji. I lived in a shared house with 4 other guys, and among them, Randy was the one I trusted most. I used to call him my brother from another universe. We'd talk all night, help each other move furniture, share things I never told anyone else. Randy knew I didn't have many female friends. He also knew I'd never been in a real relationship. I once told him, "I don't need sex. I just want to genuinely connect with someone." Then Zoe appeared. One day, Randy told me, "I know this girl named Zoe. She's in a coaching class with one of my friends. Sweet, cute, smart, and single." I asked, "Really?" He nodded confidently and showed me her Instagram account. And honestly, Zoe looked like a real person. Her account wasn't one of those scammy new account 0 posts profiles. She had older photos, saved story highlights, a few blurry selfies, some coffee shop pics. When I messaged her, she replied, not too emotional, not cold either, just enough to give me hope. A strange relationship, but it made me feel alive. We didn't text 24/7, but enough for me to feel okay. Someone out there cares about me. I started telling the whole group about Zoe, especially Randy. She sent me this cute sticker today. She asked what I had for lunch. What should I gift her if we ever meet in person? Every time I nervously asked, "Is Zoe really real?" Randy would act deeply offended. "You think I made this up, dude? If I ever did that, I'd be a freaking psychopath." I believed him. Because I wanted to believe. The first date. Or the final act of a cruel performance. One day Zoe texted, "Want to meet up? I made a reservation. Let's split the bill, okay?" I was thrilled. I told Randy, and he seemed more excited than ever. He helped me pick out an outfit. styled my hair, took me to get my nails trimmed, told me which cologne to use. It felt like I was living in a rom-com. A supportive best friend behind the scenes, a new love blooming. I even prepared a small gift, a simple necklace with a petal charm. That afternoon, Zoe texted, "Wanna see my outfit?" I happily stepped out to the balcony to video call her. I tapped call, and Kyle, one of my other roommates, appeared shirtless on the screen, laughing hysterically with Randy and the two others rolling on the floor behind him, crying from laughter. Everything in me shattered Zoe never existed. They had created the account. Every message, every reaction, every cute sticker I'd saved was all typed by Randy. I stood there frozen, still holding the necklace like some kind of clown. They asked, "Can we keep the necklace too?" No point wasting it. I didn't respond. I just smiled, that hollow, broken smile you make when your brain refuses to accept that you've just been betrayed to your core. I didn't lose a girl. I lost a piece of myself. That night, Randy slept like a baby. Like really slept, snoring softly, even whistling in his dreams. And me, I stayed up all night. Not because of heartbreak, but because my sense of trust had been shattered. I didn't love Zoe. Zoe wasn't real. But I believed in something. I held on to the idea that someone out there might find me interesting enough to reply to a message. And worse, I had shared everything with the very people who orchestrated this cruel joke. The aftermath, they called it just a prank. I thought at the very least they would apologize, but no. They laughed, said I overreacted, that it was just dude fun, messing around, bro, chill out. They didn't understand. They've never been that lonely, the kind where you ask yourself, am I even lovable, Randy? The guy I thought of as a brother looked at me like I was weak for not being able to handle a harmless joke. He said, "You gotta learn to laugh, man. You're too sensitive." And me, I was just a side character in their sick game. I'm not sharing this for pity. I'm sharing this because I need someone somewhere to tell me I'm not crazy, that this pain is real, because the feelings I had for Zoe, even if she didn't exist, were real. And they killed a part of me, the part that dreams, that believes in connection, that trusts in people. So, what now? I still live with them, just a few more weeks until I find a new place. I don't talk to them. I don't scream. I don't cry in front of them. I just stay silent. I pass by them like they don't exist. The same way they made Zoe exist and then vanish like some cruel magic trick. Final words. If you're listening to this and have ever been the victim of a prank like this, please remember, you're not crazy. You're not weak. You just have a heart, something many of these harmless, fun people never learned to value. Story 3. My boyfriend was lying motionless in a hospital bed, and that's when I found out everything. I thought I'd be the one taking care of him when he fell. Turns out, I was the one who needed saving. I never imagined the first time I'd learn my boyfriend's phone password would be when he was lying broken in an emergency room. Never thought I'd unlock his screen and discover an entire dark, hidden world that had existed behind my back during all 6 years we'd been together. And I never imagined that the moment I held that phone would be the moment I lost the person I loved most. It all started at the hospital. He had an accident at home, slipped while stepping out of the shower. It sounds ridiculous, but the damage was serious. 2 broken ribs and a dislocated shoulder. When I rushed him to the ER, he was half conscious, in agony, barely coherent. Like the devoted girlfriend I was, I took care of everything: insurance forms, calling his mom, trying to handle logistics. But my phone had just died. I asked him for his passcode so I could use his. He mumbled 6 digits. And just like that, for the first time in 6 years, I unlocked his phone. I wish I hadn't. A world collapses in 0.5 seconds. The moment the screen lit up, a message popped up from something called Asian dating app. That was just the beginning. There were also local hookups, overseas sweethearts, Tinder, and a very suspiciously named app, Just Friends Yes with the angel emoji. I froze. I told myself maybe these are old apps. Maybe. No, maybe. The messages were still coming in. Dirty, steamy texts calling him baby hubby honey. I opened his email. Plane tickets. Hotel bookings. Photos of him in what looked like a motel bed with the caption, "Best Valentine's ever." Date sent. Same day he told me he had to go home to take care of his sick mom. Anger, like I'd never felt before. I once cried because I felt like he was drifting away. He held me and said, "You're the only one I need. Don't overthink." But now, "You make me feel like a real man. You're the light of my life." Those were his words. To someone named Spanish Kitty, yes, that's her actual screen name, I nearly threw up in that hospital room. Meanwhile, he was still lying there peacefully drugged up on morphine. What did I do? I didn't hit him. I didn't scream. I didn't even cry right then. I calmly opened every app. Took screenshots of every message. I opened every conversation and sent the same message to every woman. "Hi. Just letting you know the man who only wants to be with you is currently flat on his back in the hospital, and he's told the exact same thing to 5 other women. Attached are your pictures, and mine. Let's all celebrate together, shall we?" Then I emailed everything to him. A zipped folder with chat logs, photos, call history, so he could review it all once he felt better. A goodbye from the conscious to the unconscious. Finally, I leaned down, whispered into his ear, "I love you, but I don't love what you've become. You were my best friend, and now, I just want to walk out of here with my head held high. When you wake up, this will be the last time you ever see me." I unplugged my phone charger from the wall and walked out. The next day, a strange peace. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I didn't break anything. I just sat by the window and watched the sunrise. It was something we used to do together after movie nights curled up on the couch. Only this time it was just me, and I was free. The thoughts I couldn't say aloud. He used to say I was paranoid, too sensitive, controlling. He once called me a witch just because I asked, "Why do I feel like I'm not enough for you?" Well, now I know I was enough. I've always been enough. He was the one who didn't have the courage to love properly. I don't know if I'll ever forgive him, but I know I'll never forget. The end. Or maybe a beginning. I blocked his number, unfollowed, deleted every photo. I kept just one folder named Why I Left, because someday I'll need to remind myself why I deserve better than this. I don't know what he'll say when he wakes up. Maybe he'll cry. Maybe he'll beg. Maybe he'll blame the painkillers. I don't care. Final words for anyone listening. If you've ever doubted, if you've ever felt like you weren't truly loved, trust that feeling. You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're simply reacting to a truth your heart has known for a long time. And sometimes all it takes is a hospital bed and an unlocked phone. For the universe to whisper, "Now walk away." Story 4. I faked graduating college and spent 3 years living in fear of being exposed. Every knock at the door, every phone call, I thought that was the day it would all fall apart, that my life would end. I will never forget the day I stood in front of my family wearing a black graduation gown cap tilted just right and pretending to smile with pride. I played the part perfectly, pretended to accept my diploma, pretended to beam with joy, pretended to say, "Thank you, everyone, I finally made it." But the truth, I never graduated. And worse, I knew exactly what I was doing. It all started with one failed class. In my final year of college, I had a major mental breakdown. Insomnia, anxiety, crushing pressure, almost depression. I missed the final exam for a mandatory course. Just one class, but that one failure dragged everything else down. When I received the notice you are ineligible for graduation, I went numb. I called my mom. She had just wired the last tuition payment and booked a flight to attend my graduation. I couldn't say a word. I told myself I'll retake the class. I'll do it next semester. It's just a delay. But then I let it all slide. I never registered again. I avoided professors. I deleted emails from the university. I started running. But my parents didn't know that. They still believed I was the pride of the family, the first to graduate college. The fake graduation and the gown of deceit. I borrowed a cap and gown from a friend. I blended into the crowd of real graduates, took pictures, celebrated. I printed a fake diploma from an online template, framed it, hung it on my bedroom wall. When my parents walked in, they saw it and cried. My mom hugged me tightly and said, "You finally made it, my child." Next problem. I applied for jobs like a real graduate. I edited my resume, added a degree. I passed the first round of interviews using charm and pure luck. I got a job, then another, and eventually a position at a major company. I began living a life built on a lie. Every email from HR made my heart pound. Every background check I made excuses to delay. Every time a manager asked, "What was your major again?" I'd repeat the lie like it was a well-rehearsed script. The breaking point. A call from the university one afternoon. I got a call from an unknown number. "Hello, this is from the registrar's office at University X. You haven't completed the XYZ course. We'd like to know if you plan to re-enroll." I nearly dropped my phone. I stammered. I think there's a mistake. Sorry, I'm at work right now, I'll call back." I never did. That night I didn't sleep. I just stared at the fake diploma on the wall and thought, this is what's going to bury me. If they investigate my job, I'm done. When fear becomes identity, I began living like a fugitive. I avoided social media, refused to set up a LinkedIn, kept coworkers at arm's length. I became a stranger in my own life. And the sick irony, I was good at my job. I had skills. I got praise bonuses, and still I'd think, if only they knew I'm just a fraud in a suit. Questioning everything, am I a liar, or just a victim of myself? Some nights I'd cry in the shower asking, why didn't I just tell the truth from the start? Why take the long way around? There was never a clear answer. Part of it was fear, part pride, part I just couldn't stand the look of disappointment in my parents' eyes. I couldn't bear to hear, "You've embarrassed us." So I lied. And then I had to protect that lie. Every single day is the end. Near recently, my company switched systems. They're requiring re-verification of all academic credentials. I have a few weeks to submit a scanned copy of my original degree, which I don't have. Now I'm standing at a crossroads. 1. Keep faking scan the fake diploma, pray no one notices. 2. Confess and lose everything. What did I choose? I haven't decided. Every morning I wake up and stare at the unanswered email from HR, my chest tight. Every time my mom calls and asks, "How's work going, honey?" all I can say is, "It's going fine, Mom," while inside my life feels like a rope pulled to the breaking point. I'm not telling this story for forgiveness. I'm telling it because I know. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of people out there like me living in houses built from lies. And each day we exhale slowly, hoping today is not the day everything collapses. Final words. If you're thinking about faking it to avoid disappointing your family, please don't. The lie doesn't stop at 1. It multiplies, then multiplies again. And one day you look in the mirror and realize, you don't even know who you are anymore. I don't know when I'll be exposed. Could be tomorrow, could be next week. But I know one thing for sure. If you pretend long enough, even you can forget what's real. Story 5. My girlfriend's best friend wanted to use me to have a baby. I thought she was joking. Turns out, she was planning it for real, and my girlfriend was 100% on board. If someone had told me I'd one day receive a temporary fatherhood proposal from my girlfriend's best friend, I would have laughed and told them to stop watching so many K-dramas. But no, there was no screenwriter behind this. No director shouting, "Cut." This was real life, and I was the clueless idiot thrown into a half-baked live performance staged by my girlfriend and her baby-obsessed best friend. Meet the main characters. Me and my girlfriend Lily and I had been together for almost 2 years. Stable, loving relationship, zero drama. She was thoughtful, liked to plan everything, and had a best friend named Maya, a name I heard at least 4 times a week. Maya was single, nearly 35, successful, had a house, a car, everything, except a child. The first time I met Maya and the red flags I ignored Lily, introduced Maya to me during a casual brunch. Maya was attractive, confident, and looked at me like she was evaluating livestock. She asked things like, "How tall are you exactly? Any baldness in your family? Do you smoke? Any hereditary conditions?" I chalked it up to weird best friend of the girlfriend energy. Looking back, that was interview round 1. The proposal sounds like a joke, but absolutely wasn't. One night, Lily and I were watching a movie. She suddenly turned off the TV and looked at me dead serious. "I want to talk about something, but please don't shut it down right away, okay?" I thought it was about money moving or maybe a new cat. Nope. Maya wants to have a baby, but she doesn't want any emotional entanglement. She doesn't trust sperm banks because she wants her kid to know who the father is. I sat up straight. "Wait, what are you saying?" "She wants your sperm. Not in a medical way. Naturally. Once, or a few times, and I'm okay with it if you are." Time stood still. I thought it was a joke, but looking at Lily's dead serious face, I realized no one was joking here. "You're okay with this?" "What do you mean I know Maya's desperate? And I know you're a good person. I trust that you wouldn't take this the wrong way." I almost laughed, but couldn't. It felt like I had just been labeled ethically sourced breeding stock. I asked, "Why me?" "Because she thinks you're smart, ethical, good-looking, and have strong genes." And just like that, I was officially on the table, no test tubes needed. I was furious, but tried to stay calm. Do you realize this crosses a line? This isn't just, if you're cool with it, go ahead. This is relationship-breaking level betrayal. Lily tried to explain calmly. "She doesn't want anything from you except your sperm. No feelings, no responsibilities, no drama. We've been discussing this for months, and I figured if I were a mature, understanding partner, I should say yes. All you have to do is lie down and help her achieve her goal." I snapped like I'd just been slapped in the face. "I'm not some gene ATM for your best friend. This is my body, my future. You don't get to approve that on my behalf. I love you, but that doesn't mean you get to pimp me out to someone else's motherhood fantasy." And I walked out. I left Lily sitting there teary-eyed, but I didn't feel guilty. I felt betrayed on a level beyond romantic. It was a betrayal of dignity. I didn't break up with her right then. I needed time to think. But a few days later, I got a message from Maya. "If you change your mind, I'll be ready. I've already tracked my ovulation. That was it. Done. Forever. And here's what I learned. Not everyone respects boundaries. Not everyone sees you as a partner. Sometimes you're just a tool for their goals. I don't blame Maya for wanting to be a mom, but involving me like I'm some well-bred lab specimen, absolutely not. And I won't forgive Lily for sitting through those conversations behind my back, treating me like she was negotiating a contract." Final words for you, the listener. If you're dating someone and they suddenly say, "Just do this one thing for my friend, it's no big deal," stop. Listen to your instinct. Sometimes what's knocking at the door isn't an opportunity, it's the sound of respect walking out. Story 6. My girlfriend recorded all our fights and sent them to her mom. I thought I was dating a mature woman. Turns out I was just a side character in the family drama titled Mother and Daughter versus the World. Have you ever felt like you were living under a microscope? Every word you say, every sigh, every minor reaction examined and dissected. I didn't just feel it. I lived it. For 9 months. And I had no idea the one holding the microscope was my girlfriend, with full backup from her mom. It all started like a dream. I met Erica at a small book fair downtown. She loved Sylvia Plath, quoted novels in conversations, and had this calm yet sharp way of speaking that absolutely captivated me. At first I thought I'd hit the jackpot, an intelligent, deep, emotionally mature woman. The kind of grown-up love I'd always been looking for. We moved in together pretty quickly, and that's when the polished surface started to crack. The first red flag. You already said that one time during a mild argument about finances, I said I don't think we need another houseplant. We already live in a jungle. She went quiet, eyes locked on me like a security camera. Then she repeated word for word what I had said 3 weeks earlier. You said the exact same thing on the 17th at 10:45 a.m. in the kitchen. I froze. No one remembers that kind of detail unless they're recording you. I laughed nervously. Wait, are you recording me? She laughed too. Haha, do you really think I have that much free time? Then I found the spare phone one night while Erica was in the shower and I was cleaning the kitchen. I opened a drawer and found an old phone, the one she said was broken. Curious, I powered it on. It wasn't broken. It was perfectly functional. Inside the voice memos folder were nearly 100 files, each one labeled like Fight, the plant incident, crying after mom's call. First time he called me selfish, I played one. It was me trying to explain why I didn't like being compared to her dad. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She didn't just record me. She categorized, labeled, and archived our conflicts. It was like an internal legal case file on our relationship. I sat there heart pounding. Something was seriously wrong here. And it wasn't just about arguments anymore. And then I found out who she sent it to. In the messaging app, I found a long conversation with Mom. There, Erica had sent many of the recordings along with captions like, I think I'm being manipulated. Mom, listen to this, I was right, wasn't I? He made me cry again. I feel so small. And her mother, she stoked the fire. Record everything so he can't deny it later. He sounds toxic. Classic controlling man. You're the victim. Don't let him gaslight you. I didn't know who I was angrier. At Erica for betraying my trust, or her mom for turning me into the villain of a story she never saw in person. I put the phone back, walked into the room like nothing had happened. I needed time, strategy, and answers. The final conversation. A week later, I confronted her. Erica, you've been recording me and sending everything to your mom. Haven't you? She froze. Didn't deny it. Didn't back down. She just asked, You went through my phone. I smiled bitterly. I heard my own voice. I also heard your mom's calling me a manipulative piece of s. She started crying. I just wanted someone on my side. Every time we argued, I felt so alone. I was scared. Scared you'd call me crazy. Scared you'd use your words to destroy me. Apology. Yes, but not enough. I'm not mad that you recorded me, I said. I'm mad that you never told me, that you dragged your mom into this, that you let her judge every word I said while I had no right to defend myself. I'm your boyfriend, not a defendant in a mother-daughter courtroom. That night I walked out of our apartment and never came back. What I learned: not everyone understands the line between venting and violating privacy. And sometimes your partner never really left the shadow of their parent. Final words to you, the listener. If you're with someone and they're secretly collecting evidence on you like you're some legal case, you're not in love. You're being watched. And no one deserves to be loved under surveillance. If you appreciate stories like this, don't forget to follow Reddit Echoes. Because here, every lie has a microphone. And that was the story of a man who thought he was in love with a mature woman, only to realize he was the main character in a mother-daughter reality show he never agreed to be in. It's terrifying when someone says they love you, live with you, share dreams with you, but secretly records your most vulnerable moments just to have them evaluated by someone else. Some relationships aren't lacking in love, but respect died a long time ago. What about you? Have you ever been in a relationship where every word you said felt like it was being monitored? Share your story in the comments, who knows? We might feature it in our next video.